This episode of The Rookie Hunter is sponsored by North Arm Knives. North Arm Knives are handcrafted and sold directly through a father and son team right here in British Columbia. Choose from a selection of outdoor knives, kitchen knives, and the brand new folding knife from northarmknives.com. They ship internationally and guarantee all their work. Callie and I use their products and give them our stamp of approval. Go to northarmknives.com. Hey guys, welcome to episode 44. Feels good to be back on our regular schedule. Hope you guys enjoyed episode 43 with Ryan Callahan. We always enjoy talking to him. On this episode, we're going to dive into our gear list. Actually, it's Kelly's gear list for our trip up north. So if you're a bit of a gear nerd, you're going to enjoy this one, and you can find out what we're going to be bringing in our backpacks, trying to keep them light, but also be prepared at the same time. So if you have any recommendations or suggestions for us as to what maybe we don't need to bring or things we might be missing, you can contact us through our website, which is therookiehunter.com. Just go to our contact page and you can get in touch with us there. We're also going to go over Kelly's fishing trip at the end of the episode. He also captured a couple of audio clips from the trip, and it sounds like he had an awesome time, so look forward to that as well. I want to give a shout out to Michelle from MeatEater. Very cool thing they did for us. They shared the show through their Twitter feed, and I'm thinking we probably got some new listeners from that. So huge thank you to Michelle from MeatEater for doing that. And if you were sent over from that tweet, welcome to the show. We hope you enjoy it. There are a few things you can do if you want to help us out. One, you can donate to the show. Again, just head over to the website, therookiehunter.com. There's a donate button on our homepage, but you don't have to spend money to help us. We appreciate anything you can do, and there's a few things you can do from iTunes. Number one, you can subscribe to the show. Number two, you can leave us a rating or review. And number three, just share it through your social media networks and let people know that you're enjoying the show. So those things help us out, and we do appreciate it. We read all of our reviews and emails and everything like that, so we love hearing from you guys. Please keep it up. I think that's enough for this intro, so let's get into it. Sit back, relax, crack a cold beer, and enjoy episode 44. Kelly Mulner.
How's it going?
Good, you?
Pretty good. Back again.
Episode 44. And we have not chatted since your fishing trip.
Mm-hmm.
You posted some damn good photos of your trip on Instagram, if anybody's curious to check out what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty curious to hear about it.
I posted a picture of my freezer today, too.
Yeah, I just saw that on the way over here.
There's a little bit of room left for an elk, and, well, no, we're not hunting elk, but one might stroll out in front of us.
Hey, you never know.
Bow season.
Anything can happen, as we found out last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is new?
Well, not too much, really. Like the fishing trip was a good week, 5 days or so.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was just full blast, and then I got back and went to work, and that's been crazy.
Yeah.
Just trying to catch up with everything, really.
Yeah.
And we've got a couple of podcasts on the go here, trying to coordinate interviews, and we wanted to get this one done.
Should we say what's coming up, or should we not jinx it?
I don't know. I don't think we should jinx it.
Okay. We got a couple of fun ones.
It's a surprise.
Up. Yeah. Anyways, looking forward to both of those ones.
Yeah.
For sure. One which is slated for next week, and another for early the first week of September or something, somewhere around there. So that's cool stuff you guys can look forward to. I'm excited about both.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else is new? There's a crazy forest fire raging just outside of Kelowna right now.
Yeah, just started today.
Yeah.
Kind of in the Highway 33, Joe Rich area, for those that are familiar. But the wind is pretty bad today, which has been
brutal, and it's hot too. Yeah.
Most of the summer has been hot, dead in terms of wind, and no precipitation. So I don't know. It's kind of unfortunate. The wind kicked up today.
Yeah.
But
I don't know exactly where it started, but I know if it's where I'm thinking, that if it starts from the highway, because they shut down the highway, basically it's all like grass all the way up the mountain. So I could see if hopefully it wasn't started by a cigarette butt or something like that. But man, if that's what it was, it wouldn't take long for it to just blast up the mountain.
Yeah, there was a fire there last year in a similar spot that I'm sure there was a cigarette, because it started right beside, like 3 feet from the road.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about, and it was from a cigarette.
So everybody out there that smokes, do not throw your cigarette out the window.
Yeah, brutal. But other than that, I thought we could do a few things, Cal. We'll talk about your fishing trip, obviously. We can go through a few emails, and we can also go through our packing list for heading north.
Sure.
So for those who've heard previous episode, we're heading almost as far north as you can go in British Columbia. Fort Nelson area, I guess, would be your closest thing you could pin on a map.
Yep.
If you're curious to check that out. So it's way the hell up there. None of us have been that far north. Well, Garrett has been up there, but you and I haven't. And I don't think any of us have actually driven the Alaska Highway all the way up there. So
yeah, I'm pretty pumped just to do that.
Yeah. The drive itself, I think, is over 20 hours. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to take shifts and make the drive manageable so we can do one straight shot there. Because if we stop and get a hotel somewhere, that's going to be a lost day hunting, basically. So
like 6-hour shifts.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. I know you guys are probably going to be coming right straight out of work for the first night. So that might mean I'm driving the night shift and you guys can take over in the morning or something like that. We'll figure it out. But it's a long drive, but I think we're all thinking straight shot.
So does that mean you're sleeping all day on the Friday?
Yeah, I might have to. Actually, I don't want to throw myself off too much, though, so that when we get there, I want to have a good sleep. I think we're going to get a hotel close by and then get up super early and hit the trail as early as we can so we can find a good spot and not worry about, nightfall or anything like that. Just take our time getting in there and get a good idea of what we want to do. So that'll be good.
For sure.
Should we go through an email?
Yeah.
Cool. So we got a guy named Daniel, and I gather I'm just skimming through this. I think he's from Vancouver Island. He's been listening to the podcast, which is great. He said he was surprised. He received both an Island Elk Archery LEH tag and also a Pemberton Doe for the season. So first of all, congrats. You're extremely lucky to pull those. Kelly and I, well, between the two of us, and then I guess we've applied 3 or 4 times for LEH, probably 3 because we were late getting our licenses on the first one there.
Yeah.
So doing
3 years, you mean?
Yeah, that we've been submitting. Yep. All we've gotten is a muley doe. I shouldn't say all we've gotten, but that's been it so far.
Yeah, muley doe last year, which was that was pretty easy pickings. That was, I think, the only time we went out where it was like kind of like a bit of a grocery store in a way, in the sense that like, okay, here's a bunch of doe mule deer. There's a few bucks. And it was any buck season, and I had the LEH for the doe, so it was whatever we wanted. Yeah,
pretty lucky in that sense. So yeah. Anyways, he said, as guys who have more recently started hunting, is there any specific advice you can provide for the fast approaching season? And my advice, if assuming this is his first season, is don't be disappointed if things don't work out. Treat it as an opportunity to learn. If you do get something, celebrate. Make sure you got a little flask with you. But I think I carried a flask with me all the time. Yeah. But I said I wouldn't crack it until we finally got something. That wasn't until the year 2. So
yeah, the whitetail.
You can age that liquor for a while if you need to.
For sure.
What advice have you got, Cal?
I would just say, like, in an effort to put yourself in the best position, try to do some scouting if you can, and try to talk to some people that have experience in the area.
Yep.
Whether that's phoning COs or phoning friends and family, or just using forums or whatever. Like any piece of information you can get for that area is going to help you and increase your percentages. So that's what it's all about, in my opinion, is kind of, if you got a 5% chance, try to get it a 6% chance.
Yeah. The other thing I would recommend too is always, as much as possible, take your time. I don't know how many opportunities I blew, and I think you could probably vouch for that too, from just rushing into things and not waiting that extra 10, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, take your time.
Yeah, especially when you see something, right? Like
oftentimes it's like, I can think of like a specific situation where I was watching a bunch of bucks. How you doing, Norris? You just slid in here like Kramer. Hey, bud. Where I was watching a bunch of deer, and there was nothing that I wanted to shoot at, and they kind of went up over top of the ridge and they were gone.
Yep.
I assumed that everything had left, and I kind of got up and went over the ridge that I was on. Sure enough, there was deer right like below me, and I spooked them and fucked up a good opportunity there. So never assume anything. Always assume that there is an animal. They could be anywhere. Yeah.
The thing that it's kind of a similar message, but when you see a deer, there's probably another one around, right? Sure. So if you see a deer, it's like, oh, there's deer. Oh, it's only a doe. Mm-hmm. Well, don't be too surprised if a buck walks out behind it or whatever, especially at certain times of the year, like October or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just when you see something, take your time, like Mike said. You could be surprised. And we actually fooled ourselves when we saw that bachelor group, right?
Yeah, many times.
It was 4-point muley season, and we saw a few deer on the top of a little hill, getting all excited, and then we realized, oh well, there's 3 bucks down in there, but they're all 3 points, and I don't know. In your mind, it's almost like, well, I'm seeing 3 bucks. There's no way there could be more here, because like I never see this many bucks to begin with.
Yeah.
So there's always that possibility, and it turns out there was actually 5 more bucks with those 3 deer.
Yeah.
So that was something I was not expecting, but I definitely think about it now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, good advice. We also got an email from Nicholas. He's actually we got a lot of BC emails this week, which is kind of cool, from Castlegar, Kelly, which is our old stomping grounds. Well, close to it anyways.
Close to it, yeah.
He's been out there. He didn't get into it until 4 years ago, so he's basically same as us. And I think he's going to fill up his pocket with tags. So good luck to you, Nicholas, and thanks for the email and for listening. Big shout out to Scott for donating. We got a nice donation.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
So anytime we do that, we like to dedicate an episode to the donors. So Scott, this one's for you, buddy. Very much appreciate it. And if anyone else wants to donate to the show, you can do that through our website. There's a donate button right on our homepage and a few other pages there too.
Yep.
Certainly don't have to, but it helps us cover some of the costs to do this show. Believe it or not, it does cost money to do podcasts. So
for sure.
Yeah, we really, really appreciate that stuff too. I should also mention that shortly there's going to be another way to support the podcast and also conservation. We're in the middle of getting some t-shirts made. We're waiting for the shirts that we want to come in.
Yep.
We're picked out based on everyone's feedback. I think people are willing to pay for a better quality shirt that they can actually wear hunting. So we found a nice, I think were they made out of bamboo or some shit?
Well, there's a couple things, right? Like there's a cotton shirt for more of the, the normal shirt. And if people are willing to pay a little more and they want that bamboo shirt, which might have a little longer lead time, then we might have an option there too.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, merino wool was kind of requested a couple times, but the issue there is just obviously the cost of the shirt, but also the difficulty in printing logos on merino. And we know our friends at First Light kind of
they
pioneered that tactic, but
for sure.
We might have to do a little more research in that field.
Perhaps First Light should do it for us.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
So anyways, those are going to be coming soon. We told them that we want them for hunting season.
Yeah.
So
we have another email.
Oh, we do?
It was a submission on the website there from Dylan.
Okay.
He says, "Hey guys, I have a question regarding your new Kifaru pack. What made you select Kifaru? There are a lot of really good packs out there from Outdoorsman, Kuyu, Stone Glacier, Mystery Ranch, and on and on. What made you go for Kifaru over the others?" So I think I can touch on that a little bit.
Yeah.
The thing for me with Kifaru is just the durability and comfort of the pack itself, right?
Yep.
And I mean, you can put so much in that pack. You can put more than you are able to carry without injuring yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no concern there. Like
right.
Tough as nails. But the thing with the Kifaru is the belt. Like there's just something about the Kifaru belt that really hugs your hips, and it's just ultra comfortable.
Yeah.
And if you've ever worn a Kifaru, it's got that huge lumbar pad on it.
Yeah. I know that's the first thing I noticed when Jeff brought in his Kifaru packs. Was we put them on, I'm like, holy shit,
they're tough.
Yeah.
So I don't know. For me, I'm okay with a little bit of a weight penalty, whether it's a pound or whatever, over some of the other brands. And I'm not bashing any of the other brands. I think everybody makes top-notch stuff.
Yeah.
As far as the examples we just listed here. But for me, it was Kifaru. And we've talked to Aaron. So in terms of their company and customer service, and the fact that if one of those buckles or seams broke, we could call Aaron, he'd pick up the phone and we could talk about it.
Yeah.
It's just, that was a huge factor as well.
It's a huge bonus.
A lot of these packs are all made in the US, but that's another thing, right? Especially for us in Canada, because
I was going to mention,
we get nailed on duty.
Yeah. So that's one thing that you should factor in, is when something's actually made in the US and you're ordering it up here to Canada, that is going to save you a pretty sizable chunk of change on a big purchase like that. So
for sure. Yeah, they have that handmade vibe, right? It's like a boutique pack.
Yeah.
They're making them by hand in the store, and it's a really cool vibe.
Yeah, and you got to wait a bit before you actually get the pack, which means they're putting it together because it's a special order and that, so it's pretty cool. I think you're going to love that pack. I've got my Fjallraven pack, and it's a great pack. And I'm like, because you guys keep outscaling me on the purchase, I'm like, fuck, I can't keep up with you guys. But like the point you made was like, I can pack more shit in that pack than I can handle, basically, load-wise. So I'm like, that's going to be good enough.
Yeah, we already tested that pack, and it worked out totally fine.
Yeah, so, and I lived out of it for 7 days on the Juan de Fuca trail, or 6 days or whatever it was.
Yep. And like I kind of bought a pack that wasn't going to work for too long, and you bought kind of that medium pack that's going to work all around. Kifaru is obviously at the top end of the scale. Same with Mystery Ranch, like Garrett has too. The
thing is with the Fjallraven, once I retire that pack, that's just going to be like my backpacking pack. And so I'll be able to keep that one. I'm not going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I can go up to more of a hunting pack.
Yep.
And have both of them, because as much as you don't want to have multiple sets of gear, I think obviously there's certain items, a pack being one of them, where they're just designed for hunting.
Yep.
And it's especially when you're packing meat and stuff like that. I've had quite a bit of meat in that Fjallraven pack now.
Yeah.
But I've always made a good effort to really wash it really well, and it doesn't stink or anything like that. So I wouldn't hesitate to retire it to just a backpacking pack. So anyways, I don't know how we got there. Oh yeah,
emails. Yeah. So I think that was it as far as emails.
Sweet. Before we get into fishing, should we go over the packing list for heading north?
Sure.
If you want to bring that up.
You want me to just kind of run through it?
Yeah, let's run through
have...
it. And because I haven't looked at your list yet, I've got two lists, like one that I had originally set up for Juan de Fuca, and a secondary spreadsheet that was based off of that Juan de Fuca one, because there's things I didn't think I needed for that trip after I had done it.
Yep.
And then things that are just hunting specific. So I have a list, but I'm kind of curious to hear what's on yours.
Okay.
Then we can compare and decide if there's stuff we still need. So
okay. Well, first of all, I'm gonna throw a plug in for if you go to the website lighterpack.com.
Yeah.
It seems like it's in beta mode, but it's basically an app that you can put in everything you want to pack. It stores every line in a kind of a database, and then you can drag and drop all that stuff into different, so you can set up like 7-day sheep hunting list, and then you can do a day hunting list and drag all that stuff in.
Yeah.
So that's the app I'm using. You can also share your list with other people and like break down pie charts and drill into it, right? So right now I'm sitting at total weight 66 pounds, but I'm wearing 7.5 pounds of that.
Right.
So it's about 58 pound base weight, including my pack, which if I wear the Argali Kifaru pack with the frame, the lid, the extra pockets, the rain cover, everything included, it's about 7 pounds.
Nice.
Weapon, this weight also includes my rifle, which is a Tikka T3 stainless light with the scope, 3 shells in the mag, and I'm thinking 7 extra shell ammo. That came up. I've talked to a few guys, and even in the forums, and they're saying, well, you should take 20, you should take 10. I think we touched on that on the last episode. So I think it's personal preference depending on what you want. I'm hoping to keep it on the lesser side.
Yeah.
And we, like you said before, we all shoot 30-06, at least you and I do.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of back each other up there, and hopefully we can get on the same. Well, that would only work if we were on the same ammo. So hopefully we can get there. I got a boar snake thrown in there.
Oh, nice.
Because
not a bad
if
idea.
Something falls down there, I don't want to be stuck in the middle of a mountain and like have a little bit of mud stuck in your barrel, right?
Yeah.
I think one of us should bring that. We're same caliber, so it doesn't matter. Actually, I think even it would work for Garrett's because it's like a range.
Yeah.
I don't know if 270 would work. Maybe it's 30 caliber and up or something. Anyways.
Yeah.
Optics. I've got the Razor spotting scope.
Yep.
A tripod, which is on the heavy side.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might try to talk to somebody and see if I can borrow a lighter one or something. This one's like 4 pounds.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of weight, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, anyways, binoculars.
I don't know if you saw the one that I have.
Yeah, we should try it.
It's a bit flimsy, but obviously that's part of having a lighter weight one, right? So if you put yourself in a position where you're not like extending it all the way out, it's not too bad. But if you have it all the way out, the bottom section of the legs are pretty narrow and flimsy in that. So, yeah, we should try that one because that would save you quite a bit of weight, I think.
For sure. Norse.
We got to put boots on you, man.
We got 2 dogs here today. So Mike's dog Oscar is sitting at the top of the stairs because he's sick of Norris, who's only 9 months old and it's driving him nuts.
Yeah.
So Norris is checking up on him. Lens pen.
Yep. Okay.
So
when there's stuff like that, Cal, do you think we should bring, like, it's a small item anyways, but should we both bring lens pens or should we share one?
I think with that one in particular, because I've weighed all these things.
Yeah.
It's 15 grams,
right,
which is like the weight of a battery.
Minimal, yeah.
So I would probably bring it just because if you're sitting on that side of the ridge and I'm on this side of the ridge,
true,
we can just, anytime you need it, just wipe your binos.
And then it comes to a water filter. Maybe we should just bring my water filter.
Yeah, I think we should.
Because that thing's got a bit of weight to it.
Yeah.
I don't think all three of us need to pack one.
Maybe the Sawyer, just because it's also extremely light.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, should I buy a pump filter too?
Right.
And then we have multiple pump filters. But I don't know. I lean towards your idea.
I think we just bring one because worst case scenario, we get split up and just drink out of a creek. You're not going to die.
I don't think we're going to get split up anyways.
No, but yeah, that's the worst case scenario. And that does have a bit of weight to it, that one.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Okay.
Continue on.
Let's see. Now I'm into clothing. So optics, like that category is about 10 pounds. The rifle was about 8.5 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Clothing. So my tops, and I might have one extra layer here. I'm not sure. A merino long sleeve tee.
Yep. Costco.
Yep. A mid layer. So I have a Icebreaker 260 merino.
Yep.
Sweater. I call it a mid insulation. So that's a Patagonia Nano Air, which is similar to the Kuiu Kenai.
Okay.
And it's basically a breathable fleece.
Mm-hmm.
And you can wear it as you're hiking up. You don't have to take it off, hike, and then put it back on.
Right.
And then I have my puffy, which is a Sitka Calvin Light hoodie, and the rain shell, which is the First Light Seek Storm Tight.
Yeah.
So that's my tops. There's 5 of them there. And just based on the lateness in September and how far north we're going, I'm kind of leaning on that list.
Yeah.
Right. So,
yeah.
Base layer, mid layer, sweater, 2 kind of insulation layers, and then a rain shell as an outerwear kind of.
Yeah, for sure. I'm loving the background noise on this one.
He's got his ball. So what are your thoughts on the top situation?
The what?
Like the layers,
layer?
top layer.
Yeah, that's more or less what I'm gonna rock to.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna bring a dry bag too with just an extra set of underwear, socks.
Yep.
Like one more, basically one more base layer.
Yep.
Just in case one I get wet, or on like the last couple of days, it'll be nice to just switch that stuff out. Yep. But I'm not gonna bring a whole lot of extra clothing or underwear or socks. Basically, just a backup.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like 2 of each kind of thing.
Yeah.
So bottoms, I got Icebreaker 260 long johns. I'm thinking about bringing some Tega 200 Polar Tech fleece pants. It kind of depends on how. I might throw them in the truck, and then once we're up there, I might leave them in the truck, or I might take them. It might be a game time decision. Outerwear, I got the Sitka Timberline pants, and then rainwear, the First Light Boundary Storm Tight rain pants, which we just got in the mail. You got your set too. So
top and
those
bottom.
are pretty,
I'm super stoked, man.
They're pretty sweet because they have the zipper up and down both sides. So you just wrap them around your pants. You don't have to take any boots off or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So
no, sweet. I got my stuff yesterday. And then this morning, like the first thing I did was put some coffee on. And then I got all my layers and shit, my boots and everything, and just tried it all on to make sure everything was the right size in that.
Nice.
And it fits like a glove, and it's beautiful rain gear, man.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't hesitate
a little bit
to
of stretch
just
to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to wear it as a jacket. As
Your
well.
pants?
Or like, well, both of them. I'm talking like the top and bottom because that's what I ended up with there. But
yeah,
I guess if you were really desperate, you could cut a hole in the crotch and wear it as a jacket too. But
Sleeves.
just like it kind of, it doesn't just feel like rain gear. It feels like it's multi purpose stuff as well. He's trying to bite. Jesus, Norris, you're hijacking the podcast, man.
He's not old enough for this.
But yeah, anyways, I'm super excited to try that stuff out and hoping it rains soon so that we can actually get it wet.
Yeah. Well, we can get into that when we go to the fishing story. Okay, I'm just gonna run. You want me to keep running through this?
Yep.
So those are bottoms. For my head, I have a hat, a merino neck tube, a merino beanie, sunglasses. For feet, OR Crocodile Gore-Tex gaiters,
Yeah, I've got
which
those
are
too.
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not super ultra quiet, but they are a third of the price of a lot of the name brand, like big,
Yeah.
big hunting.
I don't have any
gators,
issue
right?
with them, man.
Like, I think
Yeah.
they're top notch in quality. The
Yeah.
strap around the boot is super tough.
Yep.
They're just like
I was
super
reading-
waterproof.
Reading reviews on them. I might have said this already, but there was multiple reviews from people who work in search and rescue, and they had all changed over to those with no regrets. So basically, cost effective and just a good product too. So if anyone's looking,
Sweet.
I'd check those out.
For feet, I have a couple pairs of socks, like you said. I do like liner socks by Bridgedale.
Yep.
And they're very thin. They're very light. They're about 31 grams a pair. But I find that having those liner socks in there has cut my blisters down to 0.
Nice.
So I'm going to pack at least a pair of those, probably 2. So I'll have 2 liners, 2 regulars.
Yeah.
Just because they are way lighter than a normal sock. I might take an extra pair of laces for my boots, but I also might just use paracord.
Right.
That was one of the suggestions on the forum.
That's a good idea because we have that even with our whatchamacallit, our chargers.
Yeah.
The Poseidon.
Yeah.
There's all paracord in there, so.
Camp shoes, I was thinking about bringing some Crocs.
Yep.
And kind of tying them to the outside of my bag because we might have to do a few creek crossings and we're like roll up the pants and depending on how deep it is.
Yeah.
So that one, because we don't know the
what we're up against basically.
We need to know the area before we start getting crazy about kind of extra shoes and all that, right? And then gloves. I don't know. I've just got some mountain bike gloves and then I'm going to bring my Gore-Tex ski gloves.
Nice.
So I like to invest a little more in hunting gloves, but can't get everything right now.
No.
So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Did you have anything else in the clothes?
No, that's
area?
pretty similar to what I have.
Okay. So that, in terms of weight, the base weight's about 12 pounds. And that accounts for me wearing quite a few of those layers, like base layers and Timberline pants and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. The beauty is too is we're going to be hiking in, setting up camp, and we can leave a lot of shit behind too, which will be, so we're going to have to suffer going in, lighten the load as we spike out from there. But I
actually crawled up to the top of the mountain here and I put a bunch of his dog food in my bag and filled up a bunch of water bottles and put beer cans, like full pop cans and beer cans in my medium pockets on the Kafaru there.
Nice.
I was just trying to like get as much weight in there as I could. I got it up to 60 pounds.
Yeah.
And then just took off and it was like, it wasn't super easy, obviously, but for what it was, I went up there pretty good.
Nice.
It's nice having all the weight sit on your hips.
Yeah.
Pack was great. I don't know. I think it's definitely doable.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So what else do we have here? Sleep, shelter. I do not have any weight accounted for the shelter at this point. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
I think it's 8 pounds or something like that.
Yeah,
So
stove
we'll
included.
be splitting that between the three of us.
Yeah.
So
And we'll see how much each of our, like, I'll have the camera, right?
Yeah.
So we might want to see like where we're sitting. And if we could potentially, if somebody's carrying extra, we can talk about like, well, hey, you're carrying a little bit extra here. You might want to like see if we can cut that or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll just make sure somebody isn't carrying 75 pounds and someone's carrying 50, but
definitely.
Norse is biting me for some reason. So sleeping bag, mountain hardware, torch, which is, I think, rated for minus 16 Celsius.
I've been looking because I need to buy one.
Yeah. And Garrett bought that one too.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great synthetic bag.
They were sold out in a lot of places. So there was another one. I think it was who made it? I can't remember. I'm going blank on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bit bulkier though. Was the problem?
Altitude Sports didn't have it.
No, they were sold out of that one because I was ready to. I was doing some midnight shopping on my phone. Couldn't sleep. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking buy this. And it's
kind of a shout out to them, but they're based in Montreal, and
yeah,
I bought 3 or 4 things off them. Now I've never had any issues. The shipment even comes in like 3 or 4 days early half the time.
Nice.
And their pricing is usually, there's always some type of discount code you can get. Like,
right.
I think I got $30-$40 off that sleeping bag.
Yeah, I think they've got for your first purchase, they give you a code to use right off the bat or something too. And
then every time you review, they give you $8 to put in your bank or whatever.
Oh, sweet. I saw a review from you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice. $8.
Yeah, might as well.
But, I mean, I wouldn't review it if I thought it was a piece of crap.
Yeah, definitely.
But
nice. So that's definitely an item. I think that's like the last thing I need. Well, that and a sleeping pad. And then I'm set.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on pillows?
I'm just going to bring a pillowcase and stuff it with clothes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. You?
I have a little inflatable pillow that, I don't know, it weighs about 73 grams.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that's personal preference too, because it's not a ton of weight, but weight equals more weight. It just all adds up.
It all adds up for sure.
But some people say it helps them get a good night's sleep, and if that's what gets you a good night's sleep, it's worth it.
On the one to Fuca, we only brought pillowcases, and I've like very carefully sort of crafted my the way I stuffed it, made sure it was like going to be comfortable, not just throw a bunch of shit in a pillowcase and hope for the best, but like I had my puffy Fjall Raven jacket in there and a hoodie and sort of like wrapped it up nicely. So it was like half the size of what your pillow normally would be, but folded it all in there and kind of wrapped it up. So it wasn't bad at all. Something you could try before you go rather than experimenting when you're out there.
We should weigh your pillowcase too.
Yeah.
If it's more than 73 grams.
Yeah.
Then I might have to make that decision.
We'll find out, I guess.
Okay. So that's what I got for sleep.
Yep.
Oh, did I mention the sleeping pad?
Nope.
I have a Big Agnes Q-Core, which is insulated. It has an R value of about 5. So the R value is the amount of heat that it traps. It's insulating value. And the higher the value, the better the insulating quality. So you don't want to just buy a good sleeping bag and then put it on your floor mat or tarp or whatever you're using to sleep on, because the cold air from the ground and like it's just going to suck the heat out of you, right?
You're better to have more underneath you than on top of you.
Yeah,
which does not sound like that should be true, but it is.
Yeah. So you want to have a sleep system that includes a pad and a sleeping bag, and they're both kind of geared for whatever cold you're going to encounter, right? And you can even go further. Like I do have a Thermarest Z Core, or it's like a fold up. It almost looks like foil, but it's a very thin honeycomb type mat that folds out, and then you can put your sleeping pad on top of that, and then your sleeping bag. But that might be a bit overkill for this trip.
Could be. See if I can find. I made a little list here of. I don't know. Keep talking. I'll bring it up here. Yeah. While we're talking about that, I was actually reading that pine needles can actually be a great insulator. So if you want to take it one step further, you can actually put a shitload of pine needles underneath your sleeping pad.
Yep.
It just might not make a huge difference, but every degree helps when you're trying to get a good sleep in a cold region. So
for sure,
something to keep in mind.
Food, I haven't really gone into the food piece yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be like 8 to 10 pounds of food.
Right.
It's about 6 nights, 7 days kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is also a little bit short for a sheep trip because you can get pinned down for a few days. But at the end of the day, we just want to go up there and experience it, experience the highway, experience the mountains, go for a hike, take pictures. It's all, any animal we get is a bonus in my mind.
I found this I was looking. This is the same night that I was doing my late night shopping that didn't end up happening. So I was doing a bunch of reading on basically winter camping and the sleep systems that they were talking about. Was obviously these layers that we just recommended. So like your bottom one would be a closed cell foam pad. This is all you have to consider weight
Yeah, the
with all
close.
this.
Is that what I was talking about?
Yeah, so that's like the firmer
Accordion thing you fold out?
I think that would qualify as a closed cell, yeah.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they recommended a self-inflating pad. And then your sleeping bag. If you really want to, if your sleeping bag isn't rated that well, you can actually buy a sleeping bag liner, which it ranges from like they say anywhere from like you can add an extra 10 to 20 degrees to your sleeping bag.
Right.
You have to be careful with what they say they're going to add because you can usually, if you want to be safe, cut that number in half. So they say minus 20.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably just safely say minus 10.
Right.
So if your sleeping bag was only rated for minus 5, you might get yourself up to minus 15 with a minus 20 liner, if that makes any
And you
sense.
can always use your base layers and puffies and all that to increase
Yeah.
your sleeping bag.
So
too,
you
right?
can, there's all kinds of ways you can basically increase that. The other thing, I should have said this first, but ground cloth. So Tyvek is a common thing that is recommended. People were also saying like industrial size garbage bags. But this thing I kept kept coming across was called polycryo. It's a plastic material that is apparently you can just get it at the hardware store. You can get it cut whatever size you want, and it's super light, very packable. Whereas the Tyvek is a bit bulky.
Yep.
So I'm gonna look into both of those because definitely want to have something on the ground just in case things get wet.
Yep.
But a garbage bag doesn't sound like a bad idea either, just to like stuff all your shit in if we're leaving for the day.
Yep.
Or even if it's pouring rain and things are getting wet, you could just slide that up underneath your pad and on top of your sleeping bag.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe not, but
Yeah, I don't know a lot about those materials.
you're also going to get condensation inside there too, though. So
Yeah, I think we're going to deal with a bit of condensation.
yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's what they recommended. That's for like winter snow camping.
Yeah.
So you can take away whatever you think. But
Sweet.
and then you can also do things like heating up water and putting in your water bottle and throwing that in the bottom of your sleeping bag on your feet or something like that too. So
And we've also had, we're kind of talking about bivvies, like bivvy sacks to use to complement the teepee tent.
I don't think I'm going to do that.
The thing with the bivvy is it'll add 10 degrees to your sleep system too.
Yeah. But you can also do that with a liner.
Yeah. And we're not going to be dealing with bugs.
No, but isn't a bivvy more like if you're spiking out and you want something to sleep in?
Yeah.
So why it just doesn't seem like it's necessary if we're sleeping in the teepee tent.
Yeah, unless we get condensation in the actual tent.
Right.
And I don't know if Garrett has a liner
Not sure.
for it. So I don't know if we're at risk of that. I don't think we're at risk of bugs because it'll be pretty late.
Yeah.
So, but we're not using down bags. So if they get a little damp, it's not the end of the world. But I don't know. I'm still thinking about that one.
Yeah.
If anyone has any input.
There was some next time we get together and it's just us, we'll go through all of the advice that was given to us in the Hunt BC forum. I read a couple last night and guys were saying some guys were saying it didn't seem necessary, whereas like a sill tarp or something like that was enough. But
some guys were like, yeah, for sure. But again, different strokes, I guess.
Yeah.
And some guys were saying, like, put the bivvy in your pack, and when you go for your day hunt, you see sheep, maybe you want to spike out on that ridge, right? Because you might be there for 6 hours.
Exactly.
So that's a good point.
Yeah. See what happens with that one.
Yeah, it's just if we had unlimited resources, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I'm basically focusing on the essential stuff. That's sort of like a luxury item to me.
Yeah.
If you guys are doing it and then I'm hiking back to camp by myself, then so be it, I guess, if that's what needs to happen. But
yeah,
we'll see.
it's all cram into one bivy.
Yeah.
Gear. So I have a category that basically includes, I have a outdoor research organizer. I can't remember what size. I think it's the medium, but it's basically like $30, $40 item that is waterproof. It's a little pouch. You can put your licenses in there, your compass. Actually, I got the idea from Stephen Rinella's book. So the guide to hunting, butchering your own.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah, it's the man. I've botched this book title like 100 times, but it's the guide to hunting, butchering, and cooking wild big game or something like that.
Yeah, which I mean, we always have it on the counter, and we've used it. I think in the first 3 deer, like religiously as we were cutting everything up and with the hair and everything.
That's like a Bible, that one.
Yeah, but so I got the idea from that. So he kind of breaks down that organizer and what he keeps in it. So I kind of matched a lot of that stuff. It's a good resource. Your first aid kit, Leuco tape is a good,
right.
Which I haven't used yet
for blisters.
So what you do, it's kind of like the muscle tape. You see volleyball players, all taped up all the time.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that stuff, which it sticks on there for a long period of time. But you wrap it around your hot spots, and then it'll stay on for like 7 to 10 days, I think.
Nice. Touch wood, blisters haven't been an issue for me.
Yeah.
So, but
as soon as I started wearing those liner socks, no problems. But I'm going to take some Leuco tape anyways.
Yeah, it'd be stupid not to.
Yeah. Because I think it's pretty proven. You just got to do it before you get a blister.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to put those over top of blisters and then rip them off. Oof, right?
Yeah.
First aid kit itself needs a bit more review.
I've got a good one.
Yeah.
It's for multiple people. So,
jet boil. So I've got a jet boil. I think you have a reactor.
Yeah. No, I've got the it's the
MSR.
No. Ah, man.
Wind.
No, if you're all keep talking, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
I don't know why I can never remember the name of this.
I bought the Minimo
right.
jet boil, which is a little bigger, which is great. And I know like a lot of people buy I think it's called the Soul.
Okay.
But it's skinnier one person jet boil, which would probably be better for this trip. But again, I'm not going to go buy a second one. I'm going to make what I have work.
For
it's
sure.
A little heavier, but that's fine. Trekking poles, those are key.
Yep.
I have a sill tarp from Mech that is pretty light. It's under 400 grams. So, and I can't remember the size. I think it's about 5x8 or something like that. So if we get pinned down in the rain away from the tent, at least one of us will have a sill tarp we can spike out.
For sure.
So flip a couple poles upside down, pin it all down, and we got somewhere to sit, right?
If you guys are getting bivvies, I'll just sleep in there.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, that's a good point. If we're bringing a sill tarp, maybe one person at least doesn't need a bivvy.
I can pack the sill tarp. Yeah.
Headlamps. Bring a headlamp. Bring extra batteries.
Yep.
Salt. I have a magic baking powder case full of salt.
Nice.
Which I don't know if that's really enough, but I don't know. I've talked to some buddies and they use that. That I haven't actually included in the weight.
Okay.
Wet wipes.
Nice.
Chapstick.
Yep.
Somebody should bring a saw. Like, do you think Garrett's going to bring his Wyoming saw? Or is that too...
It's just the blade, and it was actually my dad's. So what he did was like, it's a blade, and it's got like electrical tape on the end as the handle, and you can just slide that into your pack. So pretty basic, but if we need to cut some wood and stuff like that, take a bit of manpower. I should see how sharp it is before we do that, actually. But we're gonna need probably gonna need to chop down some firewood and stuff. So important.
Sure. Leatherman. I don't know. I'm thinking one of us should have one.
I've got one for
I
sure.
think we're all going to hang around each other. I don't think we're going to do like you go 5 miles that way. I don't know. I think we need to be at a viewpoint, and I think the hunting is going to be, we're looking through our spotters, we're looking through our binoculars, we're waiting for something to happen. We might sit there for 6 hours. I think that's more likely of a sheep hunt. I don't think it's going to be action packed. I've talked to some people that have hunted sheep multiple times, and they're like, in all honesty, sheep hunting is extremely boring.
Right.
You have to sit there because they will see you before you see them.
Right.
And if you're moving around, it's just hopeless.
Maybe I should go hunt something else while you guys are looking at sheep. So I'm so restless. But yeah, that's going to be good training for me.
Yeah. I mean, they have extremely good eyesight. Yeah. That's what they rely on.
For sure.
So,
Soto, I've got the Soto micro regulator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Soto. Yeah.
Super lightweight.
Tape. I hear like Gold Bond or something like that is a good call. Like a lot of the guys from like the one guy said from his rugby days or whatever.
Right.
But it's little things like that when you're, 7 days out in the woods.
Right.
That if you make yourself a little comfortable, it might be worth packing some of that stuff up there, right?
As you get older and your balls start to sag a little bit more, it might be more necessary. But yeah, I think I'll be okay on that one.
It's just a tip.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good one on the forums.
10 years from now, we'll be packing that.
Yeah. Or you just never know what's going to happen, man.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes
it's a balancing act of being prepared and over prepared.
Yeah.
And having too much shit.
Kill kit. So Havlon.
Yep.
With 5 blades.
Nice.
And we also have the North Arm Knives links.
Yep.
Which is kind of more, that would be more of a camp knife, whereas the Havlon's kind of you could easily do everything you wanted with the links.
Yeah.
The thing with sheep hunting is where weight really becomes an issue. That's where I kind of lean a little bit to the Havlon.
Yeah.
But I do think we should take that links and somebody should be carrying it, because we're going to need, whether it's like, if we get something, we got to get through the neck hide or whatever. It's just a little easier with that. I've snapped off a blade on the Havlon before.
Yeah, okay, you snapped at least one in there.
Which could be my fault, but it's just nice to have a strong knife that the blade goes right through the handle. You can kind of use it with a rock as a hammer, or kind of make some firewood, whatever you got to do.
For sure.
Just kill kit stuff, game bags, garbage bags, cords, gloves, maybe a set of gloves, like
rubber
gloves.
Yeah, a surgical.
A little knife sharpener, maybe.
I've got a good one.
One of us should have one.
I've got my old man's buck knife. He's also got a sharpener. It's all stuff you can throw on your belt.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So I can easily put, even though they're a bit heavier, I can put them like on my straps on my backpack or anything, like they'll just clip on there. Same with, I've got a nice leather pouch for ammo too.
Okay, cool.
That'll probably bring, so.
Camera, that's the DSLR with the lens, image stabilization lens. It's an 18-55. It's nothing too crazy. Extra battery, extra card. That's about almost 3 pounds. So definite weight penalty, but I think just based on what we're doing with the podcast, and we just want to get some good pictures. I want to turn this into a bit of a story.
Yeah, even some video and stuff would be sweet too.
Yeah. Electronics. So we have the InReach, the GPS.
Yep.
Cell phone.
Yep.
Batteries. So AA's, I have 4. AAA's, I have 4. Dark Energy, Poseidon, and Accord.
Yep.
So not counting the camera, those electronics weigh about 2.5 pounds. Counting the camera, it's up to about 5.5, 6 pounds.
Right.
So that's all I got.
Sweet. It's a good list. You know, the other thing that comes to mind, I'm actually going to bring I've got the MSR Quick 2 system, which is my, it's actually for two people. It has like coffee cup or just like a cup. You can use it for whatever, but it's good for hot liquids. The pot, so I can cook in there. There's actually two, but I'll probably only bring one, and then also a plate. And it all fits into one. It's pretty lightweight. So I'm going to be bringing that so that I can cook comfortably and have coffee and all that stuff. But it all clips together, and even my little Soto micro regulator all fits inside of there. But I'll probably lean towards the smaller pot. But it's pretty sweet because the lid has holes in it, so you can drain it if you're cooking pasta or anything like that. It's a nice little system. So either I'll downsize it and use it for myself, or somebody can ditch something and we can share my cook setup.
Sweet.
And I've already had it packed for, I always kind of bring it actually, but I've got these little small containers that I got at Mech, salt and pepper. And also I packed in some coconut oil. So if we want to cook something up, and we've got so if we want to fry up some back straps or tongue or or whatever happens out there, then we can at least season the stuff and be able to cook it. But
sweet.
It almost wouldn't be, it'd be kind of cool to bring like even just an onion or something. So if we want to cook something, we can at least do something a little more sophisticated and tasty. But
well, we're
going to be starving anyway. So
Chris Barker recently, who we had on the show from the Wild Sheep Society, and he was mentioning in one of his hunts, one of his buddies, they killed a ptarmigan, and then they had like plums and brandy, and they're making like a plum reduction and all this stuff, which
delicious.
That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, and I think there's going to be ptarmigan up there, so we should have something. I don't know.
Good thing Callahan mentioned that, because we should probably add a slingshot. I've got a slingshot somewhere, but I need to get a new rubber band for it. Okay. I should practice.
I'll write a note. Slingshot.
So we can eat some of those. Okay. It's always a good morale booster. If you're not seeing any animals, if you can at least kill a few birds or squirrels or something that you could eat.
Our first ptarmigan.
Yeah.
Only took 20 hours and $800 worth of gas.
Yeah. So that list sounds good. The other thing, Kel, too, is those fire logs that both Jeff Lander recommended. Which was suggested to him through Jesus, going blank.
Aaron Snyder.
Yeah.
Schneider.
Yeah. And Aaron talked about that too. And basically what you can do is bring a few of those. You can cut them up into thirds or whatever. And if basically like with the stove that we're going to be using in the teepee tent, it's small. So it's to keep it going, it's going to take quite a bit of effort. So if we want to go to bed and be warm 4 hours later, not a bad idea to throw one of those, like a chunk of the fire starter log in there, because it'll burn for quite a while and it'll keep us warm throughout the night. So even if we have a few kicking around and it's a really cold night, then we can throw one in before we go to bed, and then another one if somebody wakes up in the middle of the night too. So other than that, I think that's a pretty solid list. Was there any other little things you're thinking, or?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I think we'll have to each like pack, repack, just keep testing it out in your basement and seeing how everything works and making sure you're not forgetting anything.
For sure. And I think we probably already said this, but like just making sure we're not bringing triples of things that don't need to be brought.
Well, that's a good point. We're going to touch base once we all had our list somewhat finalized. And it would be nice if we all had our base weight of the pack itself. And then if one person's sitting at whatever, 80 pounds and the other person's sitting at 50 pounds, we might have to move some stuff around or tell that person to drop a couple items.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So we can help each other out.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys find that useful as far as, comparing to what they might be bringing for a multi-day trip.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, cool, man. I think if there's anything else that we change, we'll obviously mention it on future episodes. But now you guys know kind of what we're up to and what we're bringing, and the countdown is on.
Yep.
It's coming up quick.
Yep.
Cool.
Getting excited.
Yeah, well, we're a ways into this episode already, but one of the main things we wanted to talk about was your fishing trip.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I purposely haven't asked you anything about it. So it was amazing, obviously.
It was amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
So I had 2 trips in the bank this year, and one of them's done. And yeah, I mean, it was everything you hope for it to be. The amount of fish I got and all the good times. And yeah. It's definitely worth it. If anybody's on the fence about going out there for a guided trip, highly recommend it. I haven't done a trip by myself. It's my first time to the island and first time offshore fishing, but I think it was a good way to kind of initiate yourself, because just through observation, sitting on those boats and watching the guides, and some of them are a little rough around the edges.
Okay.
Some of them will kind of explain what they're doing and why.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of them, all of them are great guys, and most of them are comedians.
Nice.
So it's always a good time to hang out with them and stuff.
Cool. What kind of meals were they cooking for you guys?
Yeah, so I mean, everything's taken care of. So you get a wake up call at 5 a.m, and you kind of, they actually come right into the rooms and they're like bashing on the doors.
Oh, nice.
They want everybody up.
Yeah.
The guides are there super early, so they want everybody out. Increase your chance of success.
Yeah.
So you mosey down to the lodge, and breakfast is all ready. And I don't know, you kind of have your oatmeal and egg McMuffins and all that kind of stuff. Fruit, coffee, you get your to-go coffee, and then you head down to the wharf.
Cool.
So that's morning. And when you come back from fishing, which is usually around like 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Depending on how, I mean, you're not coming home earlier than 3 unless you did very well.
Right.
And you kind of hit all your limits.
Yeah.
So let's say you came back around 3 o'clock, and you're going to have like chili waiting for you on the wharf with like big tables.
Holy shit.
Or like salmon chowder.
Oh, wow.
Whatever. So you hang out there and drink a bunch of beer. And,
nice.
And you're seeing everybody else come in from there day 2.
That's
so
cool.
It's like you see all these bins come over the side of the boat, and one guy's got a big halibut and the other guy's got just a bin full of salmon.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. And we had a big party, so we had about 15 people in the party.
Holy shit.
And everybody was from the Kootenays, basically. So I didn't know a lot of them, but I think we kind of have ties to them in one way or another.
Right.
Just through friends. So it was good that way. And yeah, it's exciting when you see them come in and everybody's got their catch and everybody's super happy and smiles and
nice
high fives, and
cool.
it's pretty sweet.
How were
then when you get back, so you go shower or whatever, and then you get your dinner, and that's like a new, basically like the chefs there are cooking all day.
Right.
So it's like this catered buffet kind of, like one day it'll be prime rib and
wow,
potatoes and whatever, all these fancy salads and stuff. And the next day is chicken, the next day is, I don't know, pork or whatever. Surprisingly not a lot of fish. I don't know if it's because like somebody you'd have to go catch it and donate your catch or something, I'm sure they're just sick of fish, so they bring in beef and chicken and stuff like that just to offset it. But
sweet.
Yeah, food wise, they take care of you.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, you got to bring your own booze in.
Okay.
So the coolers are full of beer and wine on the way in, and they're full of fish
on the way out. That's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, I mean, you're out early in the morning. You basically take off and you're driving for miles out into the ocean, right? I was surprised at how far you actually go. You basically go until you can't really, like if you got spun around in the boat,
you wouldn't really
one
know.
of us probably wouldn't know which way to go to get back. just depending on how the fog is sitting in the
Right.
sky. If it's super clear in the morning, you can still see the mountain range a
Right.
little bit. But yeah, you're out there a ways. And it's surprising because in most of those spots, even if you go that far out, it was still only about 250, 300 feet deep.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot about the ocean and the island that I don't know about. I was trying to get an idea of like, well, what makes this a good halibut spot? And I wasn't getting a ton of answers, but kind of watching the fish finder, and they were looking for plateaus and holes and structure.
Right.
Similar to hunting and fishing anything else, I guess, but
fascinating.
Sandy bottoms and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the ocean's a whole other monster.
Yeah. And then the salmon are a bit closer. So they're kind of running through all the bays and inlets and all that kind of stuff. So if you're going for your Chinook, they went out to Spring Island, it's called. That's not too far out of the bay. And there's a bit of a narrow between the islands.
Okay.
And it goes anywhere from like you're fishing in 45 feet of water to 100 feet of water.
Right.
And just downriggers 2.5 miles an hour or 3 miles an hour. And yeah, you just wait for the rod to bend and you know right away.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. I got to go.
It's pretty crazy that if I had to choose, because we were fishing salmon, halibut, lingcod. Those were the three. And then obviously you catch a bunch of rockfish as a consequence of trying to get those other bottom fish.
Right.
But the salmon, I would say, is definitely the most exciting.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, we fish kokanee and trout and stuff. It's very similar with your downriggers and all that. But you're talking like minimum 15-pound salmon up to potentially 40-pound, although none of us were in the 30s. Some folks caught 23, 25 pounds, which is still a big fish.
Yeah, the one trip that I went, I've kind of explained that whole salmon trip that I did. It was just one day on the water with a friend. Yeah. I think the one that I reeled in was 22 pounds or something like that. Nice. It was a nice fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because they, I think people that don't fish a lot, they're always curious about like how to play the fish. Like how do you know when to let go, and how do you know when to tighten the drag and fight it and all that kind of stuff. But as long as your drag's set correctly, and obviously with these guys, they're all set perfectly before you even touch the rod. Yeah. Once that fish goes, you really have no choice, because if you try to hold on to that reel, it'll just bust your knuckles up.
Yeah.
So you just, when the fish goes, you know right away, you let go and it just buzzes.
Yeah.
And that's the most exciting part.
For sure.
Right? So.
Yeah, I've caught some pretty big rainbow, Kootenai Lake, I think like 18 pounds or something like that, which from what I remember, it's a long time back now, that and the salmon seemed pretty similar. So it was kind of second nature for me just because I had done so much fishing back then, but it's been a long time now. Mm-hmm. So exciting to get out there.
You got to make a trip.
Yeah, I know.
But we'll see what happens in the future.
Yep.
I'll go again for sure. I don't know. It won't be next year, but maybe the year after or the year after that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. There's trips that you can do too that aren't fully catered. You can also hook up with guys where you line up your own accommodations and stuff. They're basically just bringing you fishing. And even those places will still give you a guarantee, which is pretty cool. So
nice.
Fun to do the whole experience with accommodations and food and everything.
Yeah.
Because you're just taken care of. But if you're somebody's thinking about going on a budget, there's other ways to do it too.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And my father-in-law does it by himself, like him and another guy.
Right.
Although he did mention like the amount of money, maintenance, commitment that you put into that. He's like, I'm kind of getting older, so I might move more to this now because I end up spending the same.
It's a lot of work getting the boat ready and all the reels and everything like that, and setting everything up.
100%.
Yeah.
So the good thing too about like a bigger operation like this is you have, 8 to 10 boats, and they're competitive, but if somebody's having a rough day, they'll help the guy out.
Oh,
and
nice.
Be like, well, what are you fishing for? This person over here, like they all have radios.
Okay.
So they're kind of communicating to each other, like how's it going in the Crazy Hole, or how's Spring Island now,
Oh, yeah.
and whatever. So with that many boats out there, you can
move
really,
around a bit. And...
Yeah. So if one boat's having trouble getting limits, they can fix them.
Sweet.
Right?
That's great.
And even from a safety perspective, like if somebody's stranded or whatever, it's just like, boom, you
somebody
go through the
enough.
chain and somebody can help you out. So that was cool.
Nice.
But, I never really been out on the water on a 25 or 26 foot boat, whatever they are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty crazy.
You got to put your first light gear to the test too?
I did. Yeah. There's a couple days where the ocean was just big white caps and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we were coming back into shore and just flying, like maxed out. I was there's 2 fishing seats right behind the 2 front seats.
Okay.
So you're facing the rear of the boat, and the roof and the soft cover. In some of those boats, it doesn't fully cover you.
Right.
And this guy was just like launching off the waves and smashing into the other ones. And the wind, I was downwind, so the wind was cutting across the side of the boat.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like every time he drove the bow into the wave, it would kind of go over the top of the roof and then right onto my back.
Oh, no.
And then as he was hitting waves, the wind from the side was pushing all that over to me too. So I was just getting splashed like every 3 seconds. So I figured that was a good time to test the first light gear, and it's all salt water and stuff too, right? So I just did it all up and put my hood on. I don't know, just got smashed. But
it passed the test?
It passed the test for sure.
Nice.
And I even got back, had a fresh water hose,
and
just hosed the whole thing down, and then put it back on and walked away.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, we're going to be well protected, I hope.
Yeah.
Well, I don't doubt it, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Sweet.
So,
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool down there.
Yeah.
The temperature is a lot cooler. It's like 15 to 20 degrees around there usually. But,
yeah, I love the island, man. We try and go there at least once every 2 years.
Yep.
If not every year. We didn't make it this year, but yeah, something about being there and on the ocean. Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then they have it's the first year they've done it, but they have a meat cutting operation there, basically. Okay. So, kind of a system where you show up with a number at the resort.
Okay.
And that number is applied to your hotel room, your clothes, your water gear that's hanging there. It has your tag on it.
Okay.
And then every fish you catch, you put the tag on it. Your cooler has a tag on it. So everything kind of goes through the system. And then you end up with all your filleted fish. And
nice.
It's all in the cooler. Yeah.
Yeah. You were kind enough to send some home with me. I'm excited.
Yeah. Have you thought any of that out?
No, we had bought some salmon from Codfather's here. So we wanted to eat that up first. I still got a couple pieces of that, and then but we're like only eating that fish because we just want to get it out of the way now.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing the same thing because my dad did this last year.
Yeah.
And my father-in-law does this every year, just in different spots. So I always end up getting something.
Right.
And I still have some fish in there from 2016. So now we made sure we kind of brought that up first in, first out.
Put it on the top.
Yeah. But when I got the last day, when you fish till noon.
Okay.
And then when you leave, they don't have enough time to package that up, flash freeze it, throw it in your cooler. So that catch that you get is fresh when you get home.
Okay.
You need a separate cooler. You put ice in it.
I see.
So when I got that home, I filleted the skin off.
Nice.
And it was like fresh out of the ocean, ling cod. Cut that up, put a little bit of like panko on it, fish fried it.
Yeah.
And that was like night and day.
Wow.
Although, I mean, vacuum packed, flash frozen right out of the ocean. When you open that pack, it still smells like salt water and stuff. So, but there's just something about it not have being frozen at all, right?
For sure.
It just had it was silky.
Nice. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about doing some fish tacos or something with the ling cod, and should be good.
Yeah. The ling cod, and the halibut. But I found with lingcod, your standard piece that's like an inch thick, maybe a little less. We put like fish fry on it.
Yeah.
Or panko or something
Right.
like that. And then like a centimeter of oil and like 2 to 3 minutes aside.
Mm.
And it's perfect.
Ready to rock. Nice. Sweet. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of other stuff you can do too. I find with halibut, I like to go more the curry route.
Right.
Like tomatoes, onions, curry, that kind of thing.
Sounds good.
Baked.
For sure.
It's good on the barbecue too, because it's a little bit kind of more like, almost like swordfish. Like it just has a more dense quality to it.
Definitely.
So.
Nice. Cool. Well, you got a couple, you did a couple updates.
Yep.
Set up the first one here.
The first one, I believe we got there, the first day is kind of more of an evening fish.
Yeah.
And then the next day is your first full day. And it was after that full day on the patio. And where we're staying is kind of, it's like a 3-level building cabin kind of on the lake, ocean.
Yeah.
And you're at the top and there's just this big patio. So you're overlooking the bay and there's eagles flying over your head. And
nice.
Stuff. Yeah. It's just a cool atmosphere. And it was right before we were going to bed. So I thought, we got to do an update here.
For
so
sure.
I flicked the microphone on and
nice.
There you go.
Sweet. Well, here it is.
It's on. See, now you're podcasting. Yeah. So, we're here. What time is it? 9:30?
Yeah, it is 9:30ish.
9:30 at Cuyuket Sound.
World famous fisherman.
World famous fisherman, yeah. Murphy's Sport Fishing Resort. So we got here yesterday. Basically drove from, you guys came from Trail. I came from Kelowna. Then we went to Campbell River, and there's a lot of dirt road between here and Campbell River. So it's pretty cool.
Got to Campbell River, did a little fly fishing in the Campbell River to no avail.
Unsuccessful fly fishing.
Yeah, but still good practice. Never a waste of time.
Yep.
It was fun watching the other guy on the other side of the creek.
For sure.
Catching a couple.
So, and who we have? We've got my dad, Wayne, who hasn't been on the podcast. We have Randy, my father-in-law, who has been on the podcast, I think episode 27. And we have another Randy DiBiagio. Randy and Randy have been good friends. Actually, I think you told some stories, some of your hunting stories, all involved Randy.
All lies.
So, yeah,
Not
I mean,
lies, just embellished.
So we're a crowd of how many? 15?
15 altogether, yeah.
Yeah. And we're all staying here at Murphy's. And we got here yesterday in the afternoon and went out right away after dinner and caught we caught 4 Chinook.
4 Chinook salmon, yeah.
Yeah, which was pretty cool.
I think it's pretty poor
bonus.
because we caught 6.
Oh, nice.
And that's all good considering
Yesterday.
Considering the night bite at Cayucot isn't supposed to be that good. So we all did fairly well.
Yeah.
And then it's a nice dinner and the night fish, and then we come in and we socialize with our other guys here, and
Yep.
and then it's 5 o'clock morning
3 guys.
breakfast and on the boat out to sea at 6 in the morning.
Yeah, that was an early morning, but it's easy to get up when there's a lot of breakfast and coffee.
Knowing what we're going to
Everything's-
be doing soon.
everything's ready for you. So this place is great.
Oh
And
yeah,
you know
Murphy's fishing, quality of the accommodations, quality of the food, the guides, the fishing, the boats
Yeah.
is
Setting.
second to none. Is
Yep.
imagine.
Bald eagles. And you get a new guide every day, right?
Yeah.
So you get to meet everybody, and they all seem great. Everybody's catching fish too.
Yeah.
So today, I've been in a boat with my father and father-in-law, and we caught 3 small halibut, 6 lingcod,
Yeah.
and 6 chinook with 1 coho.
Coho, yeah.
And the chinook were 16 to 18 pounds.
Yeah. 15
very
to
nice.
18, I would think.
Nice healthy fish.
And our night fish, we had 2 12s and a 10, and I think the other one was just under 9 kind of thing.
Yeah. So we're almost limiting out on Chinook. I think we have 2 left between the 3 of us that we can.
Yeah,
depending
we're
on-
getting most of our limit.
Yeah. Some of us
So,
have already got
depending
4
what
on the sheet. Some
happens
of us
tomorrow,
need a couple.
we need 2 more Chinooks, and we can go for some more lingcod, and we can get some halibut tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we could be limited out tomorrow, is what could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we find the big halibut.
As far as our 2-day possession limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So personally, I caught my first halibut, my first Chinook,
First
my first
ling.
coho, my
First
first
shark.
ling. I caught a dog shark by accident.
Oh, you got shark dog?
Yeah. So we had to let him go. And then we saw a blue shark swim right under the boat that was
Yeah.
it had like a diameter of about 2 feet.
Yeah, it had to be 8 feet long.
Yeah.
The guide, Steven, said it was the biggest shark he's seen in
Yeah.
the 4 years that he's been guiding here, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And if you come out to Kuyukit and you get to fish with Steve, don't whistle.
Don't whistle.
He hates that. I don't know.
But
He
you
thinks
can
it's
have
bad
them-
luck.
You can let him kiss bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hates bananas too.
Trouble is that he got Sirius radio on the boat and plays classic rock all day long and then expects us not to whistle. So
Yeah.
it doesn't seem quite fair.
Yeah.
But it certainly didn't hinder
Curtail our
production for
limits
the day.
of fish.
We were very productive today and productive last night, and hopefully that'll carry on through tomorrow.
hmm Yeah, I like that we can just focus on a couple things.
But it's something, when you're on a trip like this, when you've been trolling it in the lakes and the Kootenays and catching 2 to 4 to 5 pound rainbows and stuff like that, and it's pretty exciting. And then you come out here and you're catching 20-pound Chinook salmon and stuff. It's a whole world different, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, 60-pound halibut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll be tomorrow. Get
So-
some 40, 50 pounders.
Yeah, because what were the ones we brought up?
They're
30
probably
pounds?
20 to 25, maybe
They
30
were-
at the most.
Yeah, they weren't that heavy.
No.
But they were
chickens.
hard to pull up. So what's the 50? Is it twice as hard to pull up?
Yep. I
'Cause
got
they were,
I got a
I don't
56
even-
last year, and my arms were vibrating by the time
Yeah.
we got that thing to the surface.
It depends on the fish, too.
Yeah.
It's just like salmon. Some go crazy.
Yeah. Some want to hang out at the bottom.
Yeah. Sometimes you get a halibut, you get it halfway up, and it runs right back down
Yeah.
to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
But so
strong.
far it's been very enjoyable.
Oh yeah,
So their second day here, or day and a half. We got another day and a half to go.
it was pretty rough out there today.
It was very rough. Well, I mean, we would think it's very rough
Well, yeah.
from where we're from, but these guys,
Well, that wasn't bad today because they weren't curling.
yeah,
When you see
they weren't
those,
breaking.
yeah, when you see the
Waves
the
getting blown off
swells,
the waves.
when they start to look like surf and curl,
Yes.
then it's rough.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
pretty nice, when you got these very knowledgeable guides, and they're super friendly, and they're rigging all the rods, and they're getting them in the water, and giving you instructions all the way along, telling you not to get it stuck in the prop.
And then you
Okay,
stick
well,
it in the prop.
Okay, well that didn't work, but but it is nice, and you get a fish on, they make sure it's on, and then you grab the rod and you try to get it to the boat. It's
with the
fun.
halibut mainly. The Chinook, it seemed like you could just pull the rod out and go. But
As long as
with
it's
the
fun.
halibut, he had to teach us
Yeah.
wait for it to bite, wait again, and then when he really grabs it, that's when because you'll spook him otherwise.
Let them swallow it, get right down,
Yeah,
and then
Normally there's no
then
question
crank.
about the
Yeah.
salmon end of things.
Yeah.
It rips it out of that clip.
Yeah. When it's
Fish
out of
is
the
on.
clip,
You
it's
just
game on.
grab your rod and keep her towed up, and wherever that salmon wants to go, you kind of go with him.
Yeah.
If you have to move the rod from one side of the boat to the other, wherever you have to net it, boils down to.
Yep. And then you just
And-
put your rod back afterwards.
Quite often, those bigger fish will see the boat, get close, and then they make another run or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
when they're
best
ready,
part.
You lay them outside the boat
Yeah.
and dip the net.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
We had a couple get away, but for the most part,
Yeah.
they were all in the boat.
And for those people that don't think fish scents work, we went for over an hour with no bites. Put the fish scent on it. 5 minutes.
Yeah, that happened to
Second
us
one
too.
was 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Same thing last
So
night.
they work.
Yeah.
Last night when Derek put that on anchovy on.
Yeah.
And in about 2 minutes, it barely got down. 2 minutes later, we have a strike.
Yeah.
And then,
That's whatever catches their eye.
yeah.
Same token, we put another anchovy on, drug it around for
Yep.
half an hour, 45 minutes,
Yep.
never got a thing.
Yep.
We're catching them on the hoochies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then we were catching them on spoons today.
Yes.
All of them.
Same with the halibut. I mean, we caught those two bang bang right off the bat.
Yeah.
And then there was nothing for over an hour, I would think. Eh?
Do you think they noticed two of their buddies are gone? And they.
No, that's not a factor at all.
No.
No. And then
Do
trying
you
to get a
notice
bigger
when two of
one.
your buddies are gone?
Depends
We,
if they give me a ride.
Got another chicken there, small halibut, released it, waiting for a bigger one.
Yeah.
And then another half an hour, 45 minutes later, and the wind was blowing up fairly hard, and we're on an anchor out there, and it's getting very lumpy. So we took that third chicken, kept that, or
Yeah.
the fourth one, kept it for one each a day there.
So why do they call a halibut a chicken?
It's a size.
Small one.
You don't have to pluck them.
No feathers on it.
Yeah, it would be nice tomorrow if we get some big ones. Last year, mine was 56 pounds, and that's a struggle getting that thing to the surface. It's a good experience. Hopefully, we'll do it again tomorrow.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get a big 38-pound Chinook tomorrow.
38 pound.
Yeah.
Well, you might be pushing it there, but
That was
I think
was
you're
that the record
stretching.
this year, Cal?
No, it's 35, and that was
Well, there's-
July.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah. So if you go to Murphy Sport Fishing on Instagram, they have a photo of the guy holding it, but it was in July.
And Al was the guy that caught it. That's the guide we were out with today.
Oh, okay.
We filled the whole boat.
That's who we're going out with tomorrow.
Yeah, I just joked when I said I want to be up to my waist in guts.
Yeah.
But after about 5 hours, up to my waist in guts.
Yeah.
Did a fine job.
Yeah.
Oh, all the guides here are just fabulous.
Yeah. A lot of people came in early today because they filled up so fast.
Yep. Well, one of our groups was back at the lodge here at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. And then you get to, you unload on the wharf. They take care of all your fish and they put the little tags on. So your weather gear has a number on it. Your fish have numbers on it. You can get them all packaged and stuff here if you want.
Cooler has the number on it.
Everybody has their own number.
And then they
this
have
year it's
salmon chowder on the wharf when you get back.
Yeah, that's pretty
Buns, sandwiches.
Buns, yeah.
Dessert.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice this year too. They have a fish processing plant, so it's all your fish is flash frozen, vacuum packed, portioned.
Yeah.
And they're authorized to do that with your fish, not keep the tails and all that kind of stuff, so you can transport it without any issues.
Yeah.
And that's a bonus from this year for sure.
Yeah.
Last year when I got home with all my fish, late in the afternoon, I'm looking at all this fish going, holy man, what am I going to do now? So, of course, I phone Randy. What are you doing? Nothing? Well, then get up here.
Bring a knife.
Randy and his wife Carol came up, and Randy and I were cutting and trimming all the fish in the garage, and his Carol and my Carol were vacuum packing, and we were going till 10, 11 at night.
yeah, we got it done pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you put 85 pounds of warm meat in the freezer. I get up in the morning and, it's still soft along with some of the stuff that was already in the freezer.
Yep.
A lot of meat like that warms things up pretty fast. So
I've
it
done-
was a little bit nerve wracking.
Yeah.
So this year when you have flash frozen meat, we'll just drive home, throw it in the freezer and go to bed.
Yeah. Mike and I did that with a deer once. We had the quarters and I threw them in the freezer because we got home
Yeah.
I thought, I'll just throw it in the freezer for a while, and then my whole freezer was unfrozen.
Yeah.
Gotta spread
Just
it
thawed
out.
everything out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No air movement in the freezer.
Yeah.
Dead cold.
Yeah.
So that'll be a bonus this year for that. You know, a little bit of an extra expense, but worth every single penny, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Awesome. And the dinners here are amazing.
Yeah, the food is you know, pretty near gourmet.
But as far as fully guided trips, it's very reasonable
It is.
price wise.
Yeah.
Because I know lots of other places people are paying $4,000 and $5,000 for the same thing we're getting.
Yeah.
$2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other lodges in here too.
Now, there used to only be the two, now there's three.
So Rugged Point is across the bay.
There's another one across.
We've talked to Matt before. And then, yeah, I saw Walters Cove
Walters
Resort.
Cove, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, like last year, like I said, we put 85 pounds of meat in the deep freeze.
Yeah.
And, you know, you go online and you see what halibut's worth, and you see what salmon's worth, and you see what lingcod is worth and all that.
Yeah.
And I figured
It's like
I
$30 a
had,
pound for some of that stuff.
$30 a kilogram for halibut.
Yeah.
And, you know, I figured I put about $1,400 worth in the freezer, and you pay $2,000 for the trip. So, you know, that's pretty worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty sweet when you can just go down any morning and whip out a nice piece of halibut and cook it up for supper. I mean, you know, not too many people can do that anytime they want.
No.
That's a true story. That's why we're out here.
And just the boat ride down from Fair Harbor to the lodge here, which is just, you know, 5 minutes from open ocean. You know, what was it, about a half-hour boat ride from Fair Harbor, and the scenery is spectacular. You know, there's eagles in the trees and little islands all over the place.
Seals.
They're kind of going in and out. Seals, yeah.
Sea otters.
You know, the scenery here, even from the lodge, the scenery is fabulous. And
Yeah.
there's just so many different aspects of the trip like this that make it so worthwhile.
Yeah.
Take you through channels so narrow that
Yeah.
you could reach out and touch
Yeah,
Rocks. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't think we got that experience with our driver.
No, you were out further
Yeah.
on the. Steve is. He likes to take
Nice.
Oh yeah, you got
the inside route.
you came down from Fair Harbor with Steve.
Oh yeah, we came all through the inside route, which
Oh,
is it's pretty spectacular.
It is.
Yeah, you're looking at places that aren't much wider than the boat doing 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You know, the roughest part, problem, you know, if there was a rough part, was drive from Zabalis to Fair Harbor here on, you know, 60 clicks on a gravel road,
Yeah.
and some parts of it, you know, a little bit of washboard.
At least we didn't meet a fully loaded logging truck in our way.
Yeah.
On the corner.
like last year.
Oh, yeah, he was over there. Yeah, on the corner, exactly.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yep.
You have to be paying attention, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, some of the corners are kind of blind, right? So you just, you know, you just stay over as much as you can and hope the hell nothing comes.
So, Randy, do you like the fully guided trip or the do-it-yourself? Because you're usually up in Winter Harbor, right?
I've been down in Nootka and Winter Harbor and the Charlottes. And normally we're towing our own boats up there. This is my first guided trip. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. It's very nice not having to worry about dragging the boat and all your gear and your food and this and that. And we spend probably just as much money
That's what I'm
on
thinking.
towing our own boats
Right.
as this cost us for these 4 days or 3 full days of fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, you forgot about cleaning your own fish.
Exactly.
And filleting them and packaging them. It's all done.
Gas.
Oh, yeah, the gas, bringing your own food,
Trailer.
your boat,
Yeah.
Maintenance on your vehicle.
Yep.
Maintenance on
your own
boat.
rods and reels and tackle and everything else. These guys, they have everything for you, and it's they know that it's all proven equipment, all their lures and different things. They, you know, they're pretty confident with all their stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think it is worth every penny.
Yep.
And I'm not getting any younger either. So
That's
it's kind of a
absolutely true.
bonus.
Yeah.
And if the person can afford it, and you can come into a nice place like Murphy Sport Fishing, that's great.
Well, I told Bree that like I'm gonna bring home $1,000 worth of fish, so it almost, you know, you get half your money back or whatever. But
Yeah, we always
we say that about hunting
we
too.
always lie to ourselves
Yeah,
and everybody else. It's okay.
yeah.
Oh, it's nice to have the option.
Oh yeah,
It does offset
a little bit. Yeah.
the cost.
If you're
No, it
gonna buy
does.
that much fish, for sure.
No, it does. It does
Yeah.
offset it. And you're eating pure, clean,
Yeah,
healthy. There's
Yeah.
no
It's
pollution.
been an ongoing argument forever. Where
Yeah.
if I'm going to go hunting, I might get an elk or a moose or a deer. You come home and you spent $1,500 or $1,000 for a week or 10-day trip, and you don't have anything sometimes.
Yeah.
You could have bought half a beef,
yeah,
half a cow.
Yeah.
But you don't look at it that way.
yeah. It's the experience.
Well, exactly. The chase and the hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, we could wrap it up and maybe do another update tomorrow.
Yeah, when we get our
We're limited.
50, 60 pound Hallies and
And
our other
40-pound spring.
couple 40-pound springs. And yeah, it's going to be a great day.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So that was update number one.
That's number one. I listened to both of these just briefly. Well, we just listened to the first one. Second one, I'm going to give people a heads up that I had to do some audio restoration on this one.
Yeah.
It's I think I showed you the before and after. It was like one solid block of like highway noise or something like that. But I cleaned it up pretty good. So yeah, I think you guys will get the gist of it. But set this one up.
Yeah, so this is just a short one that basically we recorded on the way out of Cayucit.
Nice.
And yeah, the roads aren't like super soft, right? So super smooth. So
Yeah.
yeah, there was some road noise. And I think you can probably tell that everybody was a little bit bagged.
Yeah.
But
Sound a little tired in this one.
a little bit tired. But yeah, I don't know. I think when you go through a trip like that too, well, for me anyways, given it was my first time, you're kind of like, you know, when you go hunting and you get something and you're kind of in shock a little bit and
Yeah.
like it all hasn't sunk in yet.
For sure.
You've just done so much in the last few days. So there's
Yeah.
a little bit of that happening too.
Right.
But
should almost, if it was possible, to like get everybody together again after, like
Yeah.
within the next couple weeks or something like that, and do a
Yeah.
recap would be kind of cool.
for sure.
It's just as almost like a keepsake more than anything for you guys. But
Yep.
But yeah, okay, cool. Anything else you want to add to this one before we roll it?
No.
Okay, here it is.
Update number 2. We gotta do a quick one.
What's going on?
We're back in the truck.
Heading home.
Randy pulled out his nibs and corn nuts and looks like a mouse was eating them.
Yeah, something I got in the truck and chewed through the bag of corn nuts and my black nibs. I'm not so happy right now.
Find it hard to believe that a mouse got in the truck.
Yeah, it is. Especially in the glove box. They're definitely both chewed open.
Yeah. So we did an update on Saturday, which was our first full day. Then we had Sunday, and now this is Monday, right?
This is Sunday, isn't it?
This is Sunday the
Better
20th.
start over.
Well, it doesn't matter. We can start now.
Somebody know what the date is, I think.
Sunday the 20th.
Sunday.
Oh, now we got that straightened out. That's good.
I can also cut and trim and do anything we want. So
And we skipped out of church
Yeah.
to go fishing.
Yeah, so we spent the morning with Kevin, one of the guides there, awesome guy.
yeah, but we got to go back further. We spent a day with Alan,
Oh, yeah.
and what did we get with him? We got a 60-pound halibut, 131 centimeters,
Yeah, awesome.
2 centimeters off the limit for what you can keep.
Biggest
Great.
one in our group. So we won the pool, $150,
Yeah.
which was pretty cool.
And then we caught a couple other halibut, smaller ones. The one that was in the big range. And then we got our one chicken each too. The day before. We caught more Chinook. we just needed 2, so we maxed out on Chinook for the trip.
Yeah, double header.
Had a double header. What else? There were orcas swimming around. Randy saw them there.
Yeah, we got some good photos. They came right up to the boat to check us out. Probably 30 feet away.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pod of 5 or 6, one really big meal, and a young one that jumped right out of the water beside us.
Yeah, and that costs $500 for a whale watching
Well,
trip.
that's what he said. We're on a whale watching tour now. That extra 500.
Yeah. Alan's a character.
Yeah.
He's a really good guy, though. But he knew what he was doing with the halibut. Because the bite would happen. You just don't touch it, leave it alone, and then he was kind of like hand feeding the line into the halibut's mouth almost.
Yeah.
And then he knew exactly when to hammer it.
Yeah, he gets it on nice and solid. Then he hands it to us. It's pretty fun. It's pulling up the 60-pound fish there is like pulling a sheet of plywood up through the water.
Yeah.
It's, it takes it out of your arms, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then we had a jam session on the patio.
Yeah.
With the 15 guys. Dinner has been great the whole time.
Yeah.
It's,
Food is top notch.
So Marilyn was taking care of us, right? Dave's sister. So she's awesome. Everybody up there is awesome.
Yeah.
And then what happened today?
Today, we had our quick little breakfast, a little bit of porridge and some fruit and muffins, and then we headed out with Kevin. And we needed to get our 6th ling for the day, and possibly a small halibut, or any halibut. And it was a little more of a struggle than we thought it was going to be. It took us all morning to get our 6th ling. Never got the halibut.
No.
But it was a great morning. It was a little overcast, a little misty and whatnot. But yeah, it's still a lot of fun to be out there.
We didn't get the big sunrise this morning. A little bit of rain. But you're wearing your gear, so it doesn't matter if it rains. I think wind is more the problem, but we got lucky.
You guys did well with the lings. I caught everything but a ling.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how that happens. You caught a bunch of vermilion.
I got two vermilion and another one of the rockfish or whatever that other one was.
Yeah.
And finally, I got one ling.
Yellow eye? Another
Yellow
one?
eye, that's right. Yeah, it's funny how that works, eh?
Yeah. So, if everybody had their choice of what they could fish all day,
Salmon.
what would you pick?
Salmon.
Salmon?
Salmon.
I think that.
Salmon and 160-pound halibut.
Yeah. Yeah, salmon's pretty exciting. Torpedoes.
Yeah.
So now we're on the highway, drove out of Cayucit, heading towards Campbell River, and then we'll get on the ferry and back into the interior BC.
Yeah, with great experience and some good memories for sure.
Yeah, and 3 150 coolers maxed out with packaged fish.
Yeah.
They did all the packaging there, and it looks like they did an awesome job.
Yeah.
And it was reasonable. The whole trip was reasonable,
Yeah, it sure was.
price-wise, especially when you probably have $1,000 worth of fish in every one of those coolers.
Yeah, it's funny how next season is pretty well fully booked already.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's only that one weekend left.
Yep, there's 1 week left. The whole season. Which season goes from kind of mid-June to mid-September sort of thing.
Yeah. Good trip. Back to the ferry. Cheers.
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 Cool. There's number 2, the final update from the trip. Sounds like a good one, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I wish I would have, I was thinking about getting an update on the boat, but you're very busy and the guides are under a lot of pressure and
For
they're
sure.
moving 100 miles an hour. So it's pretty tough to do it on the boat.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room on those boats too. So
Right.
you don't want to be in the way, like with a microphone. And it's also inevitably going to be some wind out there, which is always a little bit tough.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been nice to get maybe one more update, but yeah, it's for the amount of fun, and like it is relaxing, but it's also a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah. Full schedule.
Yep.
Sweet. Well, we already kind of touched on this, but we've got a couple of episodes lined up here. One of them with a couple local guys, which you've heard from before, and another one from south of the border.
Mm-hmm.
Won't say much more than that.
Still a secret,
Still a secret.
but
Yeah, like I
soon
said,
enough.
I'm always worried about jinxing a interview because you say it's going to happen, and then
Yeah.
schedules are difficult. And
Yeah.
So yeah, I never really say who's coming up, but like to
I think August is a pretty tough month because
holidays and
well, some hunts open too, right?
True.
Like antelope and sheep and
yeah,
all that kind of stuff. And people's kids are going to school soon, and they're trying to get last minute holidays in. And
yeah,
so, yeah, there's been a couple of reschedulings, but we'll get them under control. We have so many topics coming up too, like just BC wise, but also with some of the guests that we have coming on, and then we have hunting coming up. So
yeah,
I have a feeling that with hunting season coming and all the stuff we want to talk about on this podcast, it's all going to get like truncated into a week where we're recording like 7 podcasts.
Yeah, might happen, which will be good, and then we can focus on hunting.
Yeah,
and doing some field updates.
Yeah, the other thing to mention with the fire season, and I don't know if we've talked about this already.
Should we spill the beans on how this episode's been recorded?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so like I guess a little over halfway into recording this one, I had Oscar here, who is a podcast regular. He was hanging out with Norris, and he came walking in front of Kelly and I, and he was walking very strangely. Like, I don't know if you've ever put socks on a dog or like boots or anything like that, and they know how they like lift their feet.
Yeah.
All strange. So he kind of derailed the podcast and went outside, and he was kind of wobbly and being weird and stuff like that. So we stopped recording.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're repeating anything, this is why.
Well, I noticed he was peeing a little bit on the stairs.
Yeah,
too.
which is not something that like he hasn't peed in the house since he was like a pup.
He's like 9 years old.
Yeah.
Now, right?
So that freaked me out quite a bit. And he came and laid on the couch here with me, and whenever you and I would try and pet his head, he would flinch. And so I was worried he was like having a stroke or something like that, or I didn't know what was going on. So anyways, I rushed out of here. And prior to coming and recording the episode up here, I had taken him for a walk in this area that I go to quite a bit. And he's one of those dogs that if he catches a scent of something edible, he's gone and he won't come back until he's finished eating whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think might have happened, I haven't gone up there to confirm it yet, is that he might have got into something that was toxic. And people do weird things. It's not the first time that would have happened in Kelowna. It's possible that it was like antifreeze or something lined up with a lot of the symptoms that he was having. And in that area where I've been running quite a bit and hiking and stuff with the dog, there's been sightings of bears and a lot of coyotes, and it's very close to a housing community. So somebody might have done something weird. We can't really confirm that, but it all lines up time-wise, and with him taking off and not coming back. So he definitely got into something within like an hour and a half to 2 hours before we came up here, which kind of lines up.
Yeah.
So anyways, I got him home, and it was a long night. I had to like lay on the floor with him and make sure he was okay. And it was like feeding him crushed up ice cubes to at least get some water in his system. And he was just like, like he was drunk pretty much, just not himself. But anyways, next morning he got up, had his breakfast, and it was pretty quiet, but slowly came around. So anyways, if we've repeated ourselves, that's why.
Yeah, because it's been a couple days.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was too bad. I was worried because I thought Norris maybe gave him a stroke or something, because Norris is 9 months and Oscar is 9 years.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of an age difference.
Yeah.
And Norris just, I mean, Oscar's no
relentless.
slouch, but
Yeah.
Norris just, he does not run out of energy, like to the point where it's very annoying. But he's getting better.
Yeah. Yeah, that freaked me out because Oscar's a very healthy dog for 9 years old. Like, people can never believe he's 9 when they see him.
He looks like he's 5 or 4 or something.
And very athletic and full of energy. So that was scary. But he's fine. Back to himself today. Yep.
Good news.
Anyways, fire season.
Yeah, fire season. Well, yeah, so I don't know if we've talked about going to the range at all, but
I don't know if we did. We might have.
basically we've been trying to go to the range so we could sight in our rifles and do any last checks. But the fire season's so bad here that our range is 11 kilometers up a dirt road, and they've shut down, basically saying the fire risk is too great, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it just kind of sucks because we're getting, 5 days away from September.
I'm pretty anxious too. It's just one of those things that mentally you just want to know that that's done and you're ready.
Exactly.
Yeah. Otherwise you're just waiting going, shit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go out there without sighting in because we did a lot of hunts last year, and it's possible that something got bumped, or never know. I'm sure they're going to be looking good, but
It's possible,
also trying out some new ammo in that too.
Yeah, I mean, if we can't get out to the range, I think we will be able to, because rifle season is until the 10th of September.
Yeah.
But I'm confident with the 165s because, so when I did get my mule deer, that thing was bang on.
Yeah.
Like, I had a very small target and that shot, and I was 100% confident, and it nailed right exactly where I was aiming. So, and then it's been in the safe pretty much ever since. So
it'd be good if we could go up back here and just fire off a couple shots. Or something,
just practice wise to get back into it mentally, especially, and just double check.
So that might be what we need to do. So we'll see. Since
sure.
we've time traveled. If you've been watching our Instagram, I shot 3 snowshoe hares yesterday. That was a blast. It's too bad your phone fucked up on you.
Yeah. So what happened? Well, you texted me. It was about 10:30, 11 o'clock the night before, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, let's go rabbit hunting. And I was game.
Yeah.
I set my alarm for what time?
I left my place
4:30-ish?
at 5 or something like that.
Yeah, 4:45 maybe.
Yeah.
And I woke up. I'm sure I woke up when I wanted to, but it was very in a haze, and I wasn't sure why I was waking up. So I'm like, this is early. So I went back to bed.
Right.
And then I woke up a second time, and I'm like, it's very light outside. Too light for 4:30 in the morning.
Right.
And then I knew I was in trouble. So I immediately sprang out of bed.
That's the worst feeling.
I don't know what time it was. It was about 5:45.
Yeah, I was almost up at the the
road there.
The road, yeah.
Yeah, so I quickly, because I put my phone on airplane mode usually, because it's right beside my head, so it sketches me out. But flicked it on, then I saw your messages.
Right.
It's like, I think your phone died. But yeah, next time, especially if it's deer, hit the doorbell. Okay. And I talked to Brie about it, and she's like, yeah, whatever, tell him to hit the doorbell. Because
I know I went outside, and I kind of went around to see if there's any lights on or anything. I'm like, oh man, if I ring the doorbell, Norris is going to go crazy, and then Bree's going to be annoyed that we're waking her up. Yeah. But
it'd probably be easier to wake Bree up than Norris.
Right.
He's out in the morning. I don't know. He would probably lazily get up and realize somebody was at the door, but he'd probably be confused.
Right.
And Bree usually gets up super early anyways.
Yeah, okay.
She's up at 6:30.
Nice.
So
next time I'll throw a rock at your window.
Just give me 5 minutes to get down there. But
sweet.
Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But you know what happened? My alarm was set for weekdays.
Right.
Because I use it for work. So
yeah. Oh well.
Lesson learned.
Shit happens, but you missed out.
I did.
I lost count of how many hares I saw. I missed. It was the first time I'd gone out with the 22 this year, so I had missed a couple, and then once I kind of got just could feel for the sweet spot on there, and I started sniping them after that. And then when I was driving back, I'm like, oh, I just don't even want to see another rabbit because I don't feel like cleaning another one.
Yeah.
And I saw 2 more on the way out. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get out of the vehicle as slow as I can, and if they run away, then they're good. I'm not even gonna go look for them. But if they just sit there, then it's game over. But luckily, they were pretty quick to run away. So 3 was enough. They're pretty big, man. I got a lot of meat off them, and maybe on a future episode, I wrote down what I did. I sort of made up my own recipe, and it was really good.
Sweet.
So,
and you're allowed 10 per day.
10, yeah, each. So 3 was a lot.
You think we could make rabbit sausage?
I don't know.
It's probably too small, eh? Too many bones.
Yeah, and it's kind of a stringier meat, though, too, right?
Yeah, true.
More like a turkey, or
I
guess you make turkey sausage.
Yeah, I don't know. Just trying to get adventurous.
Yeah. But yeah, they're beer braised. I'll share that recipe. I might try and get it up on the recipe because this one is totally my own recipe. So we can't get in trouble for ripping somebody off or anything.
Cool.
But yeah, anyways, I think that's all we wanted to say. Oh yeah, I just wanted to mention the shirts once more. Just check next week. I think we're going to do a pre-sale for anybody that's interested. And we'll hopefully get those out within the next, like 3 weeks after that. It just takes a bit of time to get these better quality shirts into the colors and stuff that we want. So I can't wait to wear one.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm going to get one too. And wear it as my base layer.
Yeah, they're actually going to do a couple of test runs for us in each color. So we'll have flip a coin over them.
Sweet.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's it. We'll see you guys soon, I think.
Sounds good. See you guys in a bit.
Yeah, cheers.